The 2024 Dallas Cowboys have been nothing but drama, and in this latest chapter of drama, we have some news coming out of their camp with their star quarterback Dak Prescott that he will be missing the rest of the season with what looks like to be a torn hamstring muscle. In fact, the tendon seemed to have ripped off the bone, and while Dak Prescott may be looking at other options to try and get back on the field, it is very clear that the Cowboys' problems this year were beyond Dak Prescott, and it's just smart to put him on IR and have him miss the whole season at this point, tank the rest of the year, and just come back healthy for next year. I mean, what is the point of coming back to a season that's already lost? They currently stand at 3-6 through 9 games. It would have to be nearly perfect, and it's very clear that the Dallas Cowboys' problems are all over the place, starting from ownership down to the roster. This is obviously fresh off of the recent contract extension that he signed just before their Week 1 matchup against the Cleveland Browns, and he signed a 4-year, $240 million deal, including $231 million guaranteed, and at $60 million a year. It makes sense that the Cowboys should be protecting their asset of the future, but at this point, they also have a lot of cap issues. They still have to get Micah Parsons' contract situated. This very topsy-turvy back and forth offseason that we had with the whole CeeDee Lamb saga, but they got that done. But outside of those three franchise centerpieces, what else do the Cowboys have at this point? The Cowboys at this point have an older roster that is full of guys that are likely past their prime. And to be frank, if you're looking at the future outlook for the Cowboys, it's looking very grim. They're in cap hell, let's just be honest. They had to let a bunch of guys walk in the offseason as they got picked apart. And despite claims from their owner, Jerry Jones, saying that they were all in on this season, that it's been anything but. They didn't make a lot of moves. Their draft picks haven't hit. And the only path I really feel that the Cowboys have at this point is, like I said, tank the season, lose as many games as possible, lock up a top 5 pick, and you already have your quarterback. You have a star pass rusher that is under contract and hoping to extend, and you have a wide receiver. Let's focus on the trenches. Let's revamp the offensive line, get Dak Prescott some better protection, especially from the tackle perspective. Get a game-changing running back as well, and maybe even trade away some of the veterans that you can fleece for extra picks. Get the young talent, develop it, because in recent years, despite them having a good track record, they haven't hit on some of their more recent draft picks if you think about the last 2 seasons. And looking at the state of this NFC East division, the Cowboys better start their rebuild ASAP. The Giants are slated to be one of the worst teams in the league. They're going to get their quarterback of the future. The Commanders already do have their franchise quarterback, so it seems, with Jaden Daniels, and they're going to continue to build around him. And the Eagles already have talent across the board, and seems like they're a Super Bowl contender for the last 2-3 seasons. So the Cowboys have a ton of work to do, and it's best to get the ground running, get started, trade some guys, work on the rebuild, and hope that you hit with some youth movement in the next coming drafts.